comfortable win for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in the New York primary. Polls, the Republican and Democrat frontrunners are nearer than ever to secure the official nominations. There's been a massive twist in the so-called saffron terror conspiracy. Two key witnesses have spoken out in quick succession in the courts and to India Today, saying that they were forced to implicate the accused in the Malegaon and the Samjhauta Blast case. Remember, for several years now, the UPA government and investigative agencies at that time had people believe that hindutwa terror, so-called hindutwa terror, was to blame for the deaths in Malegaon and the subsequent deaths during the Samjhauta train blasts. However, now crucial witnesses have spoken out only to India Today to say that they were forced to make these so-called confessions, that they were told that they will be implicated in false cases if they didn't speak out against Col Shrikant Purohit. This is an India Today exclusive file by my colleague Gaurav Sawant.
It's a major blow to the NIA in the Malegaon 2008 and the Samjhauta Blast investigations. Key witness Yashwal Bhadana has made a major U-turn, telling the NIA court he was coerced to implicate Swami Aseemananda in the Samjhauta Blast case. Yashwal Bhadana is a member of Abhinav Bharat under the scanner for its alleged role in the 2008 Malegaon Blast case. Bhadana had initially told the NIA that he was present in the meeting at Bhopal where retaliatory terror strikes were being planned, and that he had overheard Swami Aseemananda make the statement, "Bomb ke badle bomb." However, in court where the NIA was getting his statement recorded under section 164 of the CRPC, admissible as evidence in a court of law, Bhadana did a complete U-turn. He's understood to have told the court that he was not present at any meeting at Bhopal and did not hear Aseemananda say "bomb ke badle bomb," and that he was coerced to implicate Swami Aseemananda and others by the investigating agencies. This amidst former government counsel Rohini Salyan alleging that the NIA is deliberately going slow on alleged saffron terror cases after a change in the government. The government has denied the charge.
As per the direction, I have given the name in a seal cover, that's all. Rest I don't know anything.
Bhadana is not the only witness to turn hostile. 19 witnesses have so far changed their statement according to sources in the NIA.
मुझसे कहा गया कि मैं क्या-क्या गलत बोलूं, क्या-क्या जो स्टेटमेंट मुझे लिख के दिया गया, जो स्टेटमेंट मैं जो कि मुझे कोर्ट के सामने बोलना था.
Captain Nitin Joshi, a former teacher at the Bhosla Military School, in a complaint to the Maharashtra Human Rights Commission, alleged that he too was coerced and threatened with being implicated in false cases if he did not implicate Col Purohit.
आप बताइए कि कर्नल पुरोहित ने ये हथियार आपको दिए थे रखने के लिए. आप ये जो केस इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहे हैं मालेगांव बम धमाके के बारे में, इसके बारे में मैं कुछ नहीं जानता, और जितना मैं जानता था मैं बता चुका हूं, लेकिन वो कुछ सुनने को तैयार नहीं थे. उन्होंने कहा कि तुम हमारे साथ कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहे हो और तुम मुश्किल में आ जाओगे.
Joshi alleged he had neither seen RDX nor was told by Purohit that he had got RDX for Samjhauta and Malegaon 2008 blast, yet was told to implicate him.
सबसे पहले तो मुझसे कहा गया कि कर्नल पुरोहित ने मुझे कुछ गैरकानूनी हथियार जो थे मेरे पास रखने के लिए दिए थे. दूसरा मुझसे कहा गया था कि मैंने कर्नल पुरोहित के घर में RDX देखा है, जो कि मैंने नहीं देखा था. ये तो बिल्कुल गलत बात थी. तीसरा मुझसे कहा गया कि कर्नल पुरोहित ने मेरे सामने ये बात कबूल की है कि उन्होंने समझौता ट्रेन धमाकों के लिए RDX उन्होंने सप्लाई किया है.
NIA officials have so far not reacted to witnesses turning hostile, insisting that the Samjhauta case is already in court and investigations in the Malegaon case are in the final stages and that they would be filing their charge sheet very soon. One after the other, 19 witnesses turning hostile is a matter of grave concern for the investigating agencies. Added to that is the NIA chief Sharad Kumar's recent visit to the United States, where India has sought information about the alleged role of Lashkar-e-Taiba and Arif Kasmani in the Samjhauta Blast. The defense says it's a fake case of saffron terror that the NIA and the Maharashtra anti-terror squad forced on the accused. A charge that NIA denies. With cameraman Vipin Kumar in Delhi, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
Two crucial eyewitnesses coming out and saying that they were compelled, threatened by the security agencies, the investigative agencies, to say that Colonel Shrikant Purohit was involved in the Malegaon and the Samjhauta Blast case. Joining us on this broadcast is my colleague Gaurav Sawant, who's breaking the story for us tonight. With us also at this time is KP Raghuvanshi. He's the former chief of the Maharashtra Anti-Terrorism Squad, which led this investigation, and now that investigation seems to be falling apart. Also with us is Aparna Purohit. She's the wife of Colonel Shrikant Purohit. She's been fighting a long and arduous battle, insisting that her husband is innocent, and now we've got crucial witnesses who say that they were forced to implicate her husband. With us also is Rakesh Sinha from the RSS. Remember, from the very beginning, the RSS has been saying that Hindutwa terror is a bogey. It's a conspiracy hatched by the UPA. With us to represent the Congress party is its national spokesperson, Priyanka Chaturvedi. I want to start by going across first to Aparna Purohit, because for many years, you've been saying, and not many have been listening, that Shrikant Purohit is being framed. Now we've seen Captain Nitin Joshi, who was a witness for the ATS in Maharashtra, come out and say that he was forced to implicate Colonel Purohit. He was forced to say that he had the RDX with him, that he didn't actually see anything of this sort. What are you making of these new disclosures, ma'am?
That's what we've been saying right since the beginning, that he has been, my husband has been framed in all this, and all that happened at that time. Since his even before his arrest, he was taken into custody illegally, and he was literally in a kidnapped state for almost a week, and after that his arrest was shown, and even after his arrest also. So this whole period was just utilized to torture him, and all that was done was they tried to extract a false statement from him, and so this this way of functioning was this kind of treatment was, I think, meted out to all the witnesses also, and all that was done was just a story was formed, and all the pieces were fit into this
Okay, I want to
story.
listen to
And, this is
KP
how,
Raghuvanshi. I hear you, ma'am. I want to listen to the former chief of the anti-terrorism squad, because remember, it was their case that Colonel Shrikant Purohit was involved in the Malegaon blast case. Now we're seeing Nitin Joshi, a former army officer, a teacher at the Bhosla military school, come out and complain that he was coerced and threatened into implicating Colonel Shrikant Purohit, and he was told that false cases will be lodged against him if he didn't give evidence against Colonel Purohit. As the former chief of the ATS in Maharashtra, Mr. Raghuvanshi, what do you have to say about this witness turning hostile?
Rahul, thank you very much for taking me here. In our criminal justice system, the trial comes up, maybe particularly important cases which should come immediately, comes after 8 years, 9 years, 10 years or 15 years. Now there, not only in this case, earlier cases also, there had been in not one many instances when witnesses and accused, they have turned hostile, and they have said that whatever we have said, it was under the duress, or we were forced to say like this. Let me make it very clear, I was involved in the Malegaon 2006 case also, and 2008 case also. Although in 2008 case, when the case broke out, when when initial arrests were made, Mr. Karkare was
That's correct.
Heading the
and he
ATS.
unfortunately
But I
was killed in the
person who
Mumbai
filed
attacks.
the
My
charge sheet.
colleague Gaurav Sawant has a question for you, Mr. Raghuvanshi. Go ahead, Gaurav.
Mr. Raghuvanshi, how did the ATS come up with this fantastic figure of 60 kilograms of RDX that Purohit acquired? Where did he acquire this from? You know, the ATS said this 60 kgs of RDX was used from Malegaon 2008 and for Samjhauta. Where was RDX used in Samjhauta? There was a slant given to this investigation. The allegation is Lashkar-e-Taiba that was involved in Samjhauta got a clean chit courtesy ATS, sir.
No, we did not say that it was used in Samjhauta. Had we told this thing, then perhaps we would have arrested him in Samjhauta case also. We had arrested him only in 2008 Malegaon Blast 2 case, and we whatever figure we had not measured, we have not weighed. Thus, the witness only is told that this the RDX was supplied by Colonel Purohit, and
that
there were
same
corroborative
witness,
evidence.
that same witness, Captain Nitin Joshi, Mr. Raghuvanshi, that same witness is saying that he did not see the RDX. He was forced to say this. This is what that same witness, I just want our viewers to listen to Captain Nitin Joshi, former army officer, military teacher. Let's listen to what he's saying, and then we listen to what the chief of the ATS has to say. Remember, these disclosures haven't been seen or heard on TV before. This is Captain Nitin Joshi.
तो सबसे पहले तो मुझसे कहा गया कि कर्नल पुरोहित ने मुझे कुछ गैरकानूनी हथियार जो थे मेरे पास रखने के लिए दिए थे। दूसरा मुझसे कहा गया था कि मैंने कर्नल पुरोहित के घर में RDX देखा है, जो कि मैंने नहीं देखा था, ये तो बिल्कुल गलत बात थी। तीसरा मुझसे कहा गया कि कर्नल पुरोहित ने मेरे सामने ये बात कबूल की है कि उन्होंने समझौता ट्रेन धमाकों के लिए RDX उन्होंने सप्लाई किया है। आप ये जो केस इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहे हैं मालेगांव बम धमाके के बारे में, इसके बारे में मैं कुछ नहीं जानता, और जितना मैं जानता था मैं बता चुका हूँ, लेकिन वो कुछ सुनने को तैयार नहीं थे। उन्होंने कहा कि तुम हमारे साथ कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहे हो और तुम मुश्किल में आ जाओगे।
क्या मुश्किल में?
मुश्किल जैसा मैंने कहा कि मुझको जेल में डाल दिया जाएगा, मेरे ऊपर इल्ज़ाम लगाए जाएंगे, यहाँ तक कि सिर्फ मुझे नहीं मेरी फैमिली को भी उसमें खतरा होगा, मेरी फैमिली को भी इन्वॉल्व किया जाएगा।
Mr. Raghuvanshi, you just heard the former army captain there saying he was threatened that he'll be framed illegally, bogus cases will be put against him, his family will be imperiled if he didn't testify against Colonel Shrikant Purohit. Now, what kind of investigation is this? What do you have to say about what Nitin Joshi is saying at this time, sir?
Who threatened him? No, after 7 years, he is saying like this, that he was a time, he must have said it before the magistrate. There are other avenues also. Now, after 7 years, if anything is accepted as gospel truth, that is what I am saying. Case when I was being accused in Malegaon, one case that I have
Gaurav, correct me if I am wrong. He also went to the Maharashtra Human Rights Commission with a written complaint. So this is not as if he's saying this to India today for the first time and that this whole story is turning on its head. He's been saying this to the Maharashtra Human Rights Commission even earlier.
Absolutely. In 2010 itself, he went to the Maharashtra Human Rights Commission and said, I am being threatened, I am being beaten up, I am being tortured. And at this point of time, the ATS is trying to force, a confession from me to implicate Purohit, who's a very fine officer, according to Nitin Joshi. Nitin Joshi says, I've never seen the RDX. The ATS beat me up to take that confession out of me. They threatened my wife, they threatened my family, and on those grounds I made that confession. In 2010, he said, I want to retract it. He also said, the investigations also said there was no trail of ATS. Where did the RDX come from? Where did Purohit acquire the RDX? The ATS wasn't able to prove it. The ATS retracted the statement that Samjhauta RDX was provided.
Mr. Raghuvanshi, that's not being made for the first time. The same statement was made before the Maharashtra Human Rights Commission. The fact, unfortunately, is that successively in the ATS and in the NIA later, they didn't want to look at this. Was it because the UPA was in government at that time? This was seen as being politically inconvenient and therefore you wanted to ignore this?
Look, there are courts. If if he has gone to Human Rights Commission, there are other recourse available to him. The courts are very much next door. There is a trial court, there is a high court, if any injustice happens to anybody, he can always go to the court. That is precisely I am saying. In 2006 case, I was accused of arresting the innocent Muslims. Now in 2007, when Mr. Karkare was heading the investigation, he has arrested all these accused. I came at the later stage, that was only after 26/11, when after the unfortunate incident of Mr. Karkare, I took over the investigation, and whatever evidence was collected based on that evidence, weighing that well, consulting the public prosecutor, the charge sheet was filed in the court.
Okay,
and charge sheet
I want to bring in Rakesh Sinha. Fair enough. Let the court decide. Absolutely.
But clearly,
absolutely. But if a key witness was going to the Maharashtra Human Rights Commission saying that this testimony is being taken forcibly from me, then Rakesh Sinha, was it not imperative for the ATS and the NIA to look at that very seriously? They can't dismiss this. Till the time this comes out in India today, they can't dismiss this as not having existed. The man has been saying this for at least 6 years now. Rakesh Sinha.
Rahul, when Pakistan confessed about Samjhauta Express, United Nations Council declared that it was LET which was involved. And here the Congress party, Congress rule, and the Congress Home Minister ordered this. I consider the NIA, NIA and the ATS as a dirty tricks department of the ruling party. They had one script, that is Hindu terrorism. They had to prove, so they had to manufacture the evidences. They manufactured the evidences. They rightly questioned ATS, the then ATS chief. What was the source of this RDX? They don't have any answer.
Okay.
And my question to Mr. Raghuvanshi, yes, why the government had sacked him in 2010? It was a political intervention. To the extent he accepted the order of the government, he was fined. The moment he stopped accepting the government's order, he was sacked. So it was a completely politicized. And Rahul, there are 5,62,000 searches on Google Hindu terrorism, but there is not a single Hindu terrorist. They couldn't prove Hindu terrorist. Purohit and Pragya, they have all manufactured the only purpose was to reach at the door of the RSS. And you remember, in the last 10 years, before the BJP government came into the power, the TV debates, newspaper write-ups, the selective leakage, manufactured stories in the newspapers and TV debates, everywhere the RSS drill was shown.
Okay, you've leveled several charges against the Congress party. I'll give Priyanka Chaturvedi an opportunity to respond, because you must respond politically to what the RSS is saying, but more importantly on the specific legal aspect. Just one second, I'm coming back to you. I want to listen to the Congress party, because now you've got Captain Nitin Joshi speaking for the first time on TV, saying he was coerced. He was coerced, just turn that down, was coerced by the ATS into trying to implicate Shrikant Purohit. Priyanka Chaturvedi, how does the Congress party respond to this?
Firstly, I would not want to respond to RSS, which calls itself a cultural organization and feels free to level any kind of political conspiracies that they deem fit. RSS is known for its history, and 1948 is also a part of that history and their involvement in
Priyanka,
that.
can we talk about 2016 and leave aside 1948? I'm asking you about Captain Nitin Joshi, who's telling us on record, on camera, that he was threatened into implicating Shrikant Purohit.
Can I complete, Rahul? It's extremely unfortunate. I was listening to everybody.
Sure.
I will answer your
questions. But just come from 2000. Just come to 2016. Leave 1948. We'll deal with 2016 right now.
Please understand, a cultural organization which had promised that it will not involve itself in any kind of political debate is now involving itself in 2016 in debate is the reason why I make this comment. Having said that, now I would just like to say a couple of things. You said NIA and ATS worked because they worked in compulsion because it was inconvenient for the UPA. So I would want to understand from you, Rahul, does this entire conversation become convenient for the government of the day? In 2014, Aseemananda, as soon as the BJP comes into power, Aseemananda, who was a chief conspirator, who's gone on record and in a magisterial evidence, has gone on record and said that he was involved in something like this, in planning these, the Abhinav Bharat was involved in planning a series of blasts. dominated areas. Should we also deny his statement? But yes, he has got bail on one particular episode which the government of the day has not even challenged in the High Court. So he's got bail in one conspiracy. Now even in case of in the case of Colonel Purohit, let's also be clear, he's charge sheeted in Malegaon. He's also involved as someone who was part of Abhinav Bharat, involved in other blasts that happened in India that time. So he's part of that understanding as well as investigation.
Okay, you're saying certain things. I want Gaurav and Rakesh Sinha to respond. Okay, because you've leveled an important point, and I also want to add. Okay, complete. Let Priyanka complete. Okay, let Priyanka complete. Go ahead, quickly, wrap up, please.
Special prosecutor Rohini Salian had also gone ahead and made charges about the NIA wanting to dilute cases of Hindu terrorism. Are we also to deny that, or are we to overlook what Rohini Salian was saying?
So you've had your say. I want Rakesh Sinha to respond to it because this is a very important point. I've heard you, Priyanka. Allow me to go to Rakesh Sinha because we've already seen. Rakesh Sinha, let's look at how people will perceive this. We don't know what the truth is. We go by what the investigators say. One second, hear my question. And now we're seeing a whole bunch of witnesses turn hostile. 19 witnesses have already turned hostile in these cases of Hindutva terror. People will wonder whether this is also a part of a political conspiracy, because we've already seen Special Public Prosecutor Rohini Salian come out and say that she's being forced by the NIA to go slow on these cases of Hindutva terror. She's already said this on record, on camera and in court. So people will say, okay, maybe Captain Nitin Joshi has changed his testimony. Yashwal Bhadana did the same. But are they doing this because this is what the government of the day wants? It's convenient. Therefore, the case which the UPA built is now falling apart.
Rahul, Rohini Salian was not getting the extension. That was the reason that she made such
remarks. You're questioning her motives. She's a very fine public prosecutor with decades of experience.
No.
It's very convenient to question her motive, but was it right? Was what she's saying right or wrong? That's the question.
She was not getting extension, and that's why she made such a statement. She should reveal the name of the people who told her. Why didn't she reveal the names? She should reveal the names. If such a sensitive matter, you can't talk in a pronouns. You have to go to the noun.
She has revealed the name.
As far as the case of
NIA, have they taken any action?
Aseemananda, as far as Aseemananda's case is concerned, Aseemananda has given another testimony that the earlier testimony was wrong. He was under pressure. This was entirely a script of the UPA government.
Okay.
They were forcing the witnesses to write the script. And that's why, when the witnesses got the parity with the under trials, there was no parity with the under trials. As I told earlier, that he wrote a letter. The Colonel Purohit wrote letter to Home Minister that she should get the parity with the Muslim under trials.
That's correct. He's been denied bail for 8 years. He hasn't been charged yet. Just imagine the unfairness of this all. I don't speak for Colonel Shrikant Purohit, but if he is guilty, he must be charged. For 8 years, he's been in jail without having been charge sheeted. That is terribly, terribly unfair. And it's not just the Malegaon blast case, because in the Samjhauta Blast case as well, we had the Americans, Gaurav, telling us that this was a Lashkar conspiracy, that this wasn't done by a so-called Hindutva terror organization, that this was a Lashkar conspiracy. There is a United Nations report that says a gentleman by the name of Arif Kasmani, who's the chief coordinator of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, provided the funds, and that this was a Lashkar operation. The Americans are telling us, the United Nations is telling us this, but the NIA at that time under the UPA government chose to take the line of Hindutva terror. This is part 2 of Gaurav Sawant's exclusive story.
This document, the United Nations Security Council sanctions list, nails the role of Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba in the February 2007 Samjhauta Blast. On June 29, 2009, the United Nations Security Council, Al-Qaeda and Taliban Sanctions Committee added 3 crucial names to the list of individuals and entities subject to assets freeze and travel ban. The top name on that list was the notorious Arif Kasmani, a resident of house number 136, KDA scheme, Tipu Sultan Road, Karachi, Pakistan, associated with global terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Taiba and Al-Qaeda. The second name was Yahya Mujahid, and the third, Fazilatul alias Amin al-Peshawari, a resident of Peshawar in Pakistan. The description of Arif Kasmani is an eye-opener. The UN Security Council says Arif Kasmani is the chief coordinator for the 1267 listed entity Lashkar-e-Taiba and has provided significant support for Lashkar-e-Taiba operations. Kasmani has worked with Lashkar-e-Taiba to facilitate terrorist attacks, to include the July 2006 train bombing in Mumbai, India, and the February 2007 Samjhauta Express bombing in Panipat, India. On 29th of June 2009, the United Nations Security Council Sanctions Committee said that Arif Kasmani, Lashkar-e-Taiba financier, along with Dawood Ibrahim, had plotted and executed the 2007 Samjhauta train blast that killed 68 people and the 2006 Mumbai train serial blast where 187 innocent people were killed. Now, the NIA has sought information once again from the US and the UN. On what basis did they come to this conclusion that it was the Lashkar-e-Taiba that was responsible for the Samjhauta blast? This, incidentally, was also the initial line of investigation of the Haryana police. But there was a sudden change and saffron terror was blamed. Is there evidence for it? Remains the big question. The UN sanctions list goes on to say Kasmani utilized the money that had been received from Dawood Ibrahim to facilitate the 2006 train bombing in Mumbai. Kasmani also provided financial and other support to Al-Qaeda. The Director General of NIA, Sharad Kumar, in an exclusive conversation with India Today, confirmed that NIA found no evidence against Lt Col Shrikant Purohit in the Samjhauta case. The Maharashtra ATS had alleged Purohit provided 60 kgs of RDX for Samjhauta and Malegaon 2008 blasts. Kumar has recently returned from the US seeking details of involvement of Arif Kasmani and Lashkar-e-Taiba in the Samjhauta blast. The NIA asked the US and the UN in 2011 the first time, seeking details of the role played by Arif Kasmani and the LET in Samjhauta. We've reiterated our request. The NIA has ruled out changing the course of investigations in the Samjhauta blast case at this stage, since the matter is already in court. With Bureau Inputs, Gaurav Sawant in Delhi for India Today.
So Gaurav, this is very, very dangerous. You've got a United Nations report that says that this was a Lashkar operation. We have details about who the Lashkar operatives were who were involved in this. How could this have been dismissed and ignored?
That is something that the NIA needs to explain. And I put that question to the Director General of NIA, who's just returned from the United States.
Belagavi district is facing one of its worst ever drinking water crisis this summer.